What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. I hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. So I actually wanted to use this video to talk about a topic that was very controversial when it first happened, and that was Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. was on the Pivot podcast, and he spoke about the unequal pay or the difference in pay scale between men's basketball and women's basketball, like the WNBA and the NBA. And he spoke about the women having a gripe with the pay. And he was, in so many words, he was saying that basically, that a lot of the women he understand them wanting to be paid more, and he feel like there is a pay discrepancy where it could be fixed a little bit, but in so many words, it can't be fixed a ton, because he feels how I feel, and that is that the women's game isn't intriguing enough in order to warrant them being paid on the same scale as the men. And he mentioned something about lowering the rims in order to make the game more captivating. And this is a conversation that I've had previously on this channel, and I've talked about one of my homegirls who is a big fan of women's basketball, right? Shout out to Joanna. This is my homegirl for real. This is my homegirl from Mississippi Valley State. She always been a huge WNBA fan, a big women's basketball fan. She was rooting for South Carolina in 2015. You know what I mean? Don Staley was there in the early stages, 2015, 2016. We were at Arkansas State University. We both were there together in grad school, right? This is post Mississippi Valley State years. But anyway, I've always felt like this. Yes, I understand the women wanting to be paid more. However, the women's game isn't intriguing enough. It's not marketable enough for them to legitimately get paid the mega millions that the men get paid. And some of them, they know and understand they can't get paid at the same rate as a LeBron James. But even in the multi-million scale, they don't draw in that much revenue. Just think about this. Ask anybody you know when the last time they've been to a WNBA game, if ever. A lot of people have never been to a WNBA game, myself included, right? A lot of women do not find the WNBA games intriguing that much. You know what I mean? And I feel like I understand them wanting to be paid more. I do. But in order for them to get paid that mega millions, their game is you're gonna have to see more excitement in women's game. I used to joke around with my boy Melvin, but I'm gonna be for real. I always said, until women start dunking and catching alley-oops like consistently, until we start seeing some type of resemblance of the men's game in the women's game, the pay scale is always going to be unequal like that, because they're not putting out a product that is in high demand like that. Now, I do believe you will see the turning of the tide with players like Caitlin Clark. I believe her name. Is Caitlin Clark her name? Let's see. Caitlin Clark. I think that's the young lady's name. I hope I'm getting her name right. But yeah, I think you will see the turning of the tide with individuals like her. A woman who could pull up from 30 like Steph Curry or similar to, who is like just drawing in a whole bunch of viewership. When Caitlin Clark playing at Iowa, people tune in. You see them long lines, them long ass lines people got coming to watch her play, because they feel like she's that captivating, and she is. I was watching. I remember her and LSU was playing. I was all into that game, and like the women's basketball is super entertaining, because you have like women hoopers who are doing things I'm not saying that other women players haven't done, but they're doing it on a more consistent basis, and their game is evolving. Like, you're seeing women do things that maybe other women in the past have not do at a rate that the other women in the past have not done it at. So that is a big step in the right direction. I feel like a Caitlin Clark would help. Players like her will help to get the game more marketable, and people coming to give their money to the game to where they can demand more money themselves. But until you see that, they won't not be getting the mega $1 million deals. Because unlike the men's game, Yeah, the women's game, unlike the men's game, don't have women jumping through the air, catching alley oops. Girls windmilling on fast breaks. Like girls just coming through the air, blocking shots and pinning shots to the glass. You don't see that. You've seen women dunk, but not like we've seen like a lot of rim grazing dunks, not Vince Carter esque, Gerald Green esque, LeBron James. So you see posters on a consistent basis and crossovers that is just like followed up by crazy floaters and you see a handle package like Kyrie Irving and shots like Steph Curry. Is going to be hard for them to get paid like that because people are not watching their product like that. And so I think as the women's players start to evolve and do more things, that's why Michael Porter Jr. mentioned lowering the rims, because you will have an opportunity for women to start dunking crazy and doing the crazy dunks that is entertaining to the public. You go to a basketball game, it's women that don't watch basketball. They see a dude jump midair and float and dunk on somebody, or jump in the air and catch a oop and windmill that motherfucker, or jump through the air and block somebody's shot crazy. They gonna jump up out their seat because it's just that spectacular. They're doing something that you feel like is extraordinary. That is just something that you cannot see at the park somewhere on a regular basis. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that any person can hoop professionally, because they can't. There's a lot of men that cannot hoop professionally, me included. But there are going to have to be some significant changes in the athleticism of women, in the skill package of women, in order to warrant them getting paid more. Because then when you got Caitlin Clark's around, people gonna start paying to come to them games for real. Like, to the point where if you see those players consistently in the league, you might have to move the Chicago Sky. I think they play at the All-State Arena. Maybe they changed it. I don't think they don't. I could be wrong. I feel like I know for damn sure they ain't playing at the United Center. I could be wrong. But when you got Caitlin Clark's around like that, girls pulling up shooting like that at a high clip, people will start paying to where, hey, it's a lot more people coming to the games. We're going to have to move these games to the United Center, to the big arena. And then that's when you get TV deals on a regular basis or whatever, and players, then the women will have to get paid more because TV deals coming around. They got to show them on TV because people are in demand. Their product is in demand. But right now, the WNBA product is just not in demand like that, which is why they don't have as many games as demand, which is why a lot of people don't even know the WNBA season is in effect until the playoffs, because that is the time when they get shown on TV. When it's playoff time, when it's almost close to the finals, for real. You know what I mean? If your team, WNBA team, your local WNBA team is not in, if they're not in the playoffs, if that team, is not your local WNBA team, you ain't gonna know what's going on for real. A lot of people don't know. Promise you, if the Chicago Sky wasn't in Chicago, I probably wouldn't have known that they were making that deep of a playoff run if they wasn't in Chicago, because I wasn't really paying attention. You know what I mean? But because they were in Chicago, they were talking about it on local Chicago news. The newspapers had it all in the paper about, Candace Parker when she was leading the charge for the Chicago Sky. It was a big deal here. Well, nationally, I don't think people knew the Chicago Sky was bubbling and making noise like that, and that's no disrespect. That's not me being ignorant or that's not me being disrespectful or condescending. I'm just being for real. A lot of people don't even know that when the WNBA season starts, and so I think when you got players like Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, etc. coming around, you'll see more vigor, more fanfare, which will cause the women to have to get paid more because there's a demand. In order to get money, you have to have a demand for your product. Supply, demand. You got a demand, we're going to put the women on TV. TV deals come, they get more paper. So, yeah, I don't know. They probably ain't going to want the rims lowered. They're going to feel like that's disrespectful to them. But I promise you, the moment women start catching alley-oops, jumping through the air, you start seeing posters posterized, the girls posterizing each other, that's when we're like, oh shit, we gotta watch, we gotta tune in. And that's the harsh truth, but it's the truth though. And I've always felt like that for a long time. And Michael Porter Jr. seems to agree, and a lot of people do. You know, because again, it's the women that don't even watch WNBA. So I think Caitlin Clark is a step in the right direction. Hopefully we see more of that, and then women can get paid more. Machiavelli Mills TV, I'm out. Peace.